What's up, gamers? My name is Johnny Busket, and I'm here to show you how to play Vampire the Masquerade Rivals on Tabletop Simulator, which is online. It's a game from the Steam Workshop, and it will help you be able to play a multitude of card games. But today, we're just here to talk about Vampire the Masquerade. Let's do it. Vampire the Masquerade Rivals is a expandable card game that I've just stumbled into recently. I love playing it, and of course, like any other card or board game I love playing, I'm gonna find a way to play it online. Tabletop Simulator just makes it really easy to play games because the setup, there's no real setup. So let's start there. Just click some buttons, the game is set up. When you're done playing, you exit out. You don't have to do the cleanup process, nothing like that. So it's a really enjoyable way to play it. And the mods are always, equipped with some really cool scripts and things that make it super easy to play. So first off, I'm going to show you how to even get TTS in the first place. If you've never in your life played games on your PC or on your computer, or even know what Steam is a gaming engine just like if you had an Xbox or if you had a PlayStation. Steam has games that you can download and play, right? You start off by downloading it from their website, creating yourself an account, and you'd find yourself on this store where you'll be able to purchase some games. Now, Tabletop Simulator, it is $19.99. Most of the time, you can catch it on sale for $9.99. So just be looking out. Right now, see, it's $19.99. But if you just keep your eye on it, you might catch it at $10 if you want to wait. But the price isn't hefty at all. Compared to other games that are $70, $60, you can get this thing for $20. Okay, so I have Tabletop Simulator. Now, how the heck do I get Vampire the Masquerade Rivals? That is as simple as subscribing to the mod. So in Tabletop Simulator, any custom games that doesn't just come with Tabletop, which is most games, you have to subscribe to them through the Steam Workshop. Now there's two ways you can do this, and I'm going to show you step by step how to do both. One, you can find it directly on Steam, on the Steam app, or two, just a quick Google search. So first, let's start with through Steam. So I'm on Steam, I'm looking around. If I go up here to Community and I click on Workshop, it's gonna bring me to this page. This is where you can find all the custom made things for a multitude of games. I'm looking for Tabletop Sim. And see how it popped up? Just click it, and now I'm in the workshop for Tabletop Simulator. If you're looking for anything else, any other games, you just type it in here. Vampire, I'll put Rivals. And there it is, Vampire the Masquerade Rivals by Karasu. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly, by the way. I haven't got to interact with them as much, but thank you for the mod. It's really awesome. I've been enjoying it. I'm glad I can play this game online. So thank you, Karasu. Shout out to them. You click on it, and as you can see here, it says I'm subscribed. So this for you would say subscribe, and you just click the button, and it would change over to this check mark, green, subscribed. Once you do that, you should be able to go right over to Tabletop and load it up, okay? But for those of you that aren't going to do it through Steam and you might want to do it through Google just because, you're not as familiar with maneuvering through Steam, it's as easy as coming here, go to Google, type in VTM Rivals Tabletop Sim, and it'll literally be the first link. So you just click on that. It's going to bring you to that same page I showed you a second ago, and this is exactly what I was talking about. It had a little plus with subscribe. You click it, it'll make you sign in, you subscribe, and then you are good to go. So now for actually loading up the mod. First of all, if you're new to Tabletop Sim, I would highly suggest that you do the tutorial, okay? I know you probably don't want to. I know you're ready to play, but it's going to teach you some pivotal things for being able to use Tabletop Sim, and you're going to want to know that information. It's not that long. Just go ahead and do it. You'll be better for it in the long run. So if you're playing this with some friends or with some other people online, only one of you needs to be subscribed to the mod. All right? All four of you don't need to have it. One person can have it. They can start the table, and you'll be good to go. Making a table is as easy as hitting create. Multiplayer, you can change the server name. You can have your own password, and you can create that server. All right? You can make it just for your friends, invite only, whatever you want to do. If you're looking for your friend's table, you just hit join, type in VTM, and any table that's hosted within Vampire the Masquerade Rivals will show up here. There's obviously none right now out of the 516 games, but it would be here. This is what the list looks like without searching anything. So see all those different games people have loaded up. All right, so once you start your own game, this is what it's gonna look like. You're gonna see the classic games, the DLC that you can purchase, the workshops that you subscribe to, and anything you've saved as well. So as you can see, Vampire the Masquerade Rivals is right here at the front. I'm gonna click on it and hit load, and it's gonna load the table for me. All right. So as you can see, we have everything here in front of us. We have dedicated spaces for the Haven, Agenda, your faction deck, your library deck, discarding cards, burning cards, and then the city space in the middle, right? And we have those spaces for each individual. One other thing you'll notice is we have the main table, and then we have a deck building table over here. So for those of you that are vets to the game, you probably have your own decks made. This is where you can actually make them within the game as well, and you can load them up. Just some quick info about moving around in the space. If you use your arrow keys, you can kind of look around the room, you know, pan your camera around and look around you. This is the head movement, if you will. So that's just your arrow keys. You can do that pretty easy. If you use your WASD, that's how you actually move around. If you have a mouse with a scroll wheel, you literally can just like click your scroll wheel and drag it around. You could also scroll that wheel to zoom in and out. Z is another hotkey for zooming in and out. I'm being quick with these because a lot of that info is in the tutorial and also up here in the menus at the top. But definitely, if you're ever wondering about anything, you can message me on Discord. You can comment on the videos, whatever you want to do, and I'll be glad to kind of help you out with that. Another useful hint as I jump into this table, if you hit Control 1 or Control any number, you can save your camera. And then you just hit shift in that number to load that camera that you saved. So I've saved this as camera 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6. So I'm just gonna be showing you guys this first. So as far as the deck building table, all these icons you see here at the top, you can click them and it'll load whatever card type that is. That first one I clicked was Agendas. Then we have Haven, we have Bruja. You have each faction listed here. And if you click it, it'll load out the cards for you. Now, I will say, the factions that haven't been released officially yet are still shown here with their icon, but nothing will happen when you click them, okay? Because there's no actual cards for them. But anything that has cards, it will show it for you. So there you go. If you hover over a card and you hit the Alt key, it'll make it nice and big for you so you can read it and look at it. As I mentioned earlier, you can hit Z or use your scroll wheel click to zoom in and out as well. Now, one neat thing they did here, they have the clear row. So once you get done grabbing some stuff out of the row, you can just hit clear and it'll get rid of those for you. But they have ranged attacks, physical attacks, social attacks, mental attacks, reactions, actions, ongoing, all that good stuff. You just click it, build your deck, and you'll be good to go. Once you got all this set up and you've built your deck, you just highlight it, right click, save object. You name it whatever you want. And click save. Now I have my deck. I'm good to go. Anytime I load up in a table, I'll have it right in my folder and I can grab it out. Now let's go back over to the main table. Okay, I'm gonna save this as camera 2, so Control 2 on my number row. And now if I accidentally move it, do something wonky, I can just shift 2 and I'm right back to my camera. So if you played on other tables with scripted hotkeys, there's none here. So if you have your keypad or your number pad on the right side of your keyboard, hitting those, there aren't any scripts there yet. Loading up a game is as simple as pulling out your deck along with everyone else and using these buttons in the middle. Now, if you're hosting a table and your friends join in, you're gonna have to click their name, which will be right here at the top right underneath yours, and click promote. There'll be a list of options. You want to click promote. That is so they can load their custom decks and have some other host capabilities as well, but you will definitely need to do that. So another neat thing about the table is down here at the right, along with these dedicated spaces for your card types, there's also the tokens you'll need. There's the instruction books that you can click and look through. And don't forget about that zoom in option. You can just zoom in if you need to read. And we also have these icons here at the bottom. So if you notice, these are all the faction icons, right? If you click one, boom. These are the pre-constructed decks that come pre-made, and you can just use them as they are. If you don't have time to make a deck yet, or you just want to try the game without having to make your own deck, you can do that. All right, but those are found there. As for the tokens, we have our leader influence. We have fear tokens. It's an unlimited bag of those. You just keep grabbing them and grabbing them and grabbing them. Grab as many as you want. We have our no influence token. Same thing with that. It's an unlimited bag. Just grab as many as you need. And those go there. We have our -1 BP tokens. We have agenda tokens. Now with these agenda tokens, once again, they're unlimited pool as well. But something neat that was added, and I really commend this, you can grab this second one down here on the bottom, and if you right click it, you can say how many agenda you have. Instead of just grabbing 13 of these, you literally just right click and say how much agenda you have. So that's really neat. That was a really cool addition. That happened recently, like in the past couple weeks, I believe, and that's been good. You have your general supply of prestige and blood. So just like in real life, you flip these things over. They have blood on the other side and prestige on one side. So there you go. Now to actually load in your deck, all you need to do is go to objects, save objects, and whatever you named it, it'll be right there. So the great thing about tabletop as well, you can just save a bunch of different objects, right? Now just pop it out and load it on the table. It's really cool. Same thing with the deck that you save. I just grab it, and there it is. Let's go ahead and add a couple other things in here too. Since there'll be no one sitting there, I'll just drop in that. Sure, a quarter, whatever. There's a bunch of cool stuff. So Matt Hira has also confirmed that M&Ms are the official way. You know, if you need to replace some tokens, it'll be M&Ms. I can't remember honestly which specific tokens it was, but someone told me, and I got a good laugh out of it. So yeah, I got some M&Ms in here too. Now this is why I say do the tutorial, because it's gonna teach you how to pick up your deck, how to grab cards off the top, how to gather them, how to shuffle a stack of cards, how to put one in your hand, all that good stuff. Okay, you definitely want to do the tutorial. It's gonna make your life a lot easier, especially if you're just new at Rivals in general. And it takes you a minute to even just kind of figure out what you want to do. Being able to maneuver through the mod like it's an extension of your own hand is just really useful. So definitely do the tutorial if you haven't. I can give you a quick overview, but definitely still go do it. So shuffling, you just hit R when your hand is over a stack of some cards, and it'll shuffle them like that. If you want to grab a card off the top, you have to click and drag quickly. If you want to pick up the whole stack, you click and hold, and it'll lift from the ground. If you want to grab a card and flip it over, you put it in your hand, and you click F, and it'll flip it over. Same thing for a full stack. I can grab this full stack, flip it over. So yeah, definitely check that out so you can get everything. So once everyone has loaded their deck, so let's just load some precons over here just so it looks nice. Alright, you would pick your leader, whoever you want your leader to be, and you throw that leader on them. Once everyone flips over their leader, you just grab your stack over here and add however much blood you need to for their BP. Okay. One thing I noticed, they have a little anchor point right in the middle, and that's where I like to sit my blood, and it just sits right there on the card. So something else cool that was added recently are these character trays over here on the deck building table. You just grab those, and it's a nice little tray to sit all your stuff on. So when you have a character that's adding retainers, whatever tokens, or you know, wraiths pretty soon here, they just sit right on top of this thing. At the beginning of the game, I'll even lock these. So if you hover over something, anything at all really, so you can lock anything as long as you have the permission. You hit L, and now when I accidentally click on these, they don't move. Because if they're not locked, like look, they just bounce around like crazy. You go to grab your card, you can accidentally hit this and, you know, knock everything around. So I just lock my character trays, and then I can just sit whatever I need to on top of it. If I want to move out into the streets, I'll just hit L and move the whole thing up that way. So you can lock and unlock however you need. Now it's back locked in the streets again. But yeah, once everyone has their decks loaded up, they've chosen their leader, you're ready to start the game. So yeah, just use those buttons in the middle. You'll be able to select first player, rivals, and finally load the city deck. So of course I'm first player because I'm the only player. If I click this, it's gonna, mess up the script because there's no one actually sitting. But usually when you hit this button, they shoot in the bag, and then it assigns rivals by shooting out the cards. See, it's got a nice little error there. But usually this will go to whoever, has me as their rival. Once you get done with that, the first person will click city deck. It'll do the shuffle thing with the events, and then kick out some cards. Now, one thing I've also messed around with doing is turning on turns. So in tabletop, if you go to options, turns, and enable turns, this nice little button will pop up right here that says end turn. This is just a good way to keep track of whose turn it is. I know usually people just call out, hey, I've drawn my 2 cards, my turn is over. You can still do that just fine, but if you turn this on, you click end, and that sound it made just a second ago is what you'll hear when it's now your turn. And you can just keep passing this thing around to the next person. But you will have to manually flip out a new city deck card on your turn. That's not automated. When your turn starts, just grab the next card, flip it out. This bag won't be here, by the way, so let me delete that. It's just because I'm the only one in the rival script got, kind of wonky because it's like, where's the other players? When entering the streets, it's the same thing as, playing in real life. You want to make sure you move your character out past your haven and your agenda. There's an imaginary line right here. And that just signifies to everybody that you're in the streets and you're no longer in your haven. If you're trying to make your bet on prestige when it comes to schemes or things like that, I've seen people actually move these over into the hidden zone. So there's a couple hidden zones on the table, right? There's the one that's your color. As you can see, I can only see through the white one, right? That's because I'm sitting in the white seat. If I was sitting in the blue seat, that would be translucent. Yellow seat, that would be translucent, and so on and so forth, right? Only you can see in your hidden zone. So if I moved all my prestige here and I just wanted to bet a few prestige, I set them off to the side and say, okay, I made my bet. No one can see how much I've stacked here. But what I've noticed about that, most people who know what they're doing on tabletop, they can see you clicking and dragging. So if I just count you click and drag 4 times, I know how much you bet. So right after recording that bit, I actually found a really easy way to use the hidden zones when you're doing prestige bets. You just go components, tools, no cards, and grab them out and place them into your hidden zone. So at the beginning of games now, I actually just go ahead and grab them out and put one in each person's space. Because all you got to do, instead of dragging out these prestige tokens, just right click. If you type in the name field, that's actually going to edit the header on the card. So if I put prestige right there, that'll change the whole card. And then the namespace will actually edit what's on the note card. So if I want to bet 4 prestige, just type 4. And that pops up there. If I want 5, of course, same thing, just 5. And that way, when the scheme is done with and we're trying to see how much influence was bet using prestige, you just take the card out and you see what the person typed in there. And that kind of gets rid of that problem of people seeing how many you set to the side, or, any you won't need any more Scout's Honor type thing happening. The other hidden zone is your hand. So if I draw my 2, I'm first player, so I wouldn't draw 2 vampires. But anyway, draw 4 from my library. No one can see these cards in my hand. If I take these cards and I were to put them in another player's hand, I wouldn't be able to see them. See how that disappears? That's exactly how it looks, because that's a hidden zone. They will see the back of the card, so they can tell how many vamps you have in your hand. They can tell how many library cards you have in your hand, but they won't know what it is once it enters your hand. Just a nice little hidden zone there. If someone hits you with a shakedown, make sure you flip your hand over before you reveal it, because once you cross out of that zone, people can see it. So if someone shakes you down, you pull them out. If you want to look at a card while it's face down, you hit Alt and Shift, and it'll pop up just like that. Another way you can do that, you can just gather them all together, and the person can right-click and search and just look through what you have in your hand. So as I mentioned, the character trays are really nice for attaching retainers and things like that, because you just stack them up that way. And now you got your nice little, vampire with a retainer. Do it however you like. I usually just stack my retainers on top of my vamp, but if you want to do it the reverse way, go for it. Okay, so one last thing before we end this. My friend Precons, who actually made the mod for DCDV, I believe he's working with the guy who made this mod for Rivals, and they're making some updates. Blakecon's really good at what he does, so I know it's gonna be fire. He actually has a couple sneak peeks he's let me see. He might be doing this on his own. I'm not for sure just yet. But check this out. So look here. He's kind of testing out some things with moving into zones. Watch what happens when you drop these tokens. Boom, right onto the card, and it adds like little markers for how much, even what color is separated out. For the blood types, you can move them up and down. He dropped the leader influence token on it, and now it's attached. So he's testing out a lot of these different scripts, and hopefully soon we'll have a really big update. And they move with the card too, so that's really cool. You won't have to be worried about keeping your tokens stacked up on top of it and making sure they don't fall all over the place. That is gonna be really dope. So yeah, see, they just move along and they disappear. You stacked it and they're still there even when you brought it off the stack. So yeah, that's dope. I can't wait to see that. All right, and finally we have a new look at what the table could look like. He sent this over. We still have the little spaces for your agenda, your faction deck, library, haven, burn, discard, but you have a dedicated space for being in your haven, a dedicated space for torpor, dedicated space for being in the streets, and also the area in the middle for the city deck. Now every person also has, you know, a nice little design in the background of their section, right? Specifically Malkovian, you know, Bruja, the base factions. So that's really cool looking. I can't wait to see when this is actually on the table and we got this thing in front of us. I'm sure there's going to be some other nice scripting going on with it, knowing Bladecon. Here's his Patreon link. It's also in the description. I'm subscribed to his Patreon. I suggest you guys do the same thing because he's always coming out with some cool stuff for his mods. So yeah, it's as low as $1. So yeah, definitely do that. So hopefully him and Karasu, once again, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right, we'll have some new updates for us soon. This thing is already amazing, and as more people come, I'm pretty sure it's gonna get even more amazing. But that's it. That's all I have. I've kind of thrown all the basic stuff out there for you for using this mod on TTS. If you have any questions, definitely please comment, let me know, message me. I'm in the Facebook group as well, so all those links are in the description, so check those out. You can find a link for the unofficial and official Discord, the Facebook group, the mod itself. But yes, please reach out and let me know what you guys think. If there's any other videos I can make to kind of help your time of playing Rivals easier, let me know. I'll do that. But GG's, have fun, guys, and I will catch you later. Peace.